unexpected appearance. Jungkook and Jimin make Calvin Klein, building a total jam. Shocking news again came from the world of K-pop and global fashion. BTS's unexpected appearance of Jungkook and Jimin in front of the Calvin Klein building, New York, managed to create complete chaos. Without announcement, without official schedule, without prior signs, these two BTS members suddenly appeared at the location, which is the headquarters of one of the biggest fashion brands in the world, and in a matter of minutes, the situation around the building drastically changed to a sea of people. This moment began when some fans who were around the Calvin Klein building accidentally saw two familiar-looking male figures get out of a black van. It took a few seconds for the army on the spot to recognize them, Jungkook and Jimin. A short video of them just getting out of the car, complete with their typical fashion style, immediately spread on social media. And as has often been the case, Jungkook and Jimin's names again topped the global trending topic in less than 10 minutes. The crowd began to grow rapidly. People from all directions of the street ran towards the Calvin Klein building, trying to get a closer look at two idols who are known to have a close relationship with the fashion world. The situation becomes more difficult to control when the employees who work in the building come out, crowding to simply capture the moment or simply peering out of an upstairs window. The road in front of the usually crowded building has now turned completely into a severe traffic jam. The vehicle was forced to stop due to the mass crowding the area. Security officers were seen trying to control the increasingly unruly crowd. Some local New York media outlets, initially unaware of their presence, immediately sent a coverage team after getting viral information from social media. In less than an hour, Calvin Klein's headquarters turned into the center of world attention. The staff working inside the building looked confused, but many of them were also seen enthusiastically watching the furor that suddenly exploded around their offices. Jungkook, known as Calvin Klein's global ambassador, smiled casually as he saw the incredible reaction from ARMY, who kept calling his name. Meanwhile, Jimin, who has rarely been seen directly involved with the brand, was a surprise. Many suspect that Jimin's presence there is not without reason. ARMY began to speculate that it is likely that Jimin will soon be part of Calvin Klein's new campaign, especially considering the previous rumors about their collaboration that are still kept in meetings. Some fans managed to record the moment when Jungkook and Jimin entered the lobby of the Calvin Klein building while throwing light smiles and waving their hands towards the crowd. Despite being heavily guarded by the security team, Jungkook was able to spontaneously give a thumbs up to the ARMY, who had been waiting for him patiently. The atmosphere became more boisterous when Jimin bowed politely and gave a heart gesture with his hand, a small sign that actually made the crowd even more hysterical. There was no official statement from Calvin Klein nor from HYB at the time, but their presence at Calvin Klein's headquarters suddenly sparked new theories. Some ARMY believe that this is part of a secret project that will soon be announced. Some suspect they may be doing an exclusive photo shoot, or maybe even designing a special duo collaboration that will rock the fashion world. ARMY from different countries flooded the timeline with expressions of excitement, surprise, and of course the pride in how Jungkook and Jimin were able to create an effect of this magnitude with just one unexpected appearance. Several global fashion outlets are starting to report the possibility that Calvin Klein is preparing a mega campaign by combining these two biggest K-pop icons in one visual project. If true, then this collaboration will be one of the most monumental achievements, considering that Jungkook has had a tremendous impact on the brand so far, and Jimin is known as a figure with the power of fashion that is always alluring. Netizens' reactions were also mixed. Many highlighted how their presence was able to stop the daily activities around the Calvin Klein building. It even caused severe congestion that led the local police to intervene to regulate traffic. Several car drivers who were stuck in traffic actually got out of their vehicles and recorded the rare moment. There were even some people who spontaneously joined the crowd to just see who was at the center of the street noise. Some journalists who were on site said that they had never witnessed such a large crowd just because two people appeared for several minutes. It's like a concert that happens in the middle of the city without a schedule, said a local reporter with a smile of admiration. The army, which has been following their movements since New York, is also increasingly convinced that this appearance is not an ordinary moment. Even some fanbase accounts believe that Jungkook and Jimin are indeed in the process of filming for the latest global campaign, which is deliberately kept secret. What makes it even more interesting is the fact that both did not provide any updates on social media about this activity, as if deliberately letting the army discover and compose their own pieces of the story. In a short live broadcast a few hours after the incident, Jungkook only said briefly, "Today, it was a little crowded." He smiled, his eyes radiating warmth as if he knew that the army understood the hidden message behind the sentence. Jimin also wrote in Weverse, "Sometimes the streets can be the most memorable stage." Their simple sentences even more burning curiosity army, because all this time they know, if there is a moment that looks simple on the surface, it is usually the beginning of something much bigger. Some fans even speculate, is it possible that Calvin Klein and HYB are preparing a global duo campaign that will be released simultaneously in the near future? Is this just a photo shoot, or are they shooting a special advertising video that will shake the world of fashion and K-pop at the same time? All remains a mystery, but one thing is certain. The appearance of Jungkook and Jimin in front of the Calvin Klein building has created a new story that will not be forgotten. They proved once again that their strength is not only on stage, but also in every step they take in the real world. With just one unannounced appearance, they managed to bring one city to a standstill, one street paralyzed, and one world talking about them. That's Jungkook and Jimin, a duo that even from a distance is still capable of shaking up the world. A few hours after the explosion of the crowd in front of the Calvin Klein building, the atmosphere on site slowly began to control. The police put the traffic in order. The fans began to disperse even reluctantly, and the once paralyzed streets of New York began to function again. But the traces of Jungkook and Jimin's appearance did not just disappear. The former incredible crowd became a hot story that continues to be discussed in cyberspace. Several soldiers who managed to witness the moment firsthand began sharing their stories on social media. They tell how the aura of Jungkook and Jimin's presence is so strong, how their short smile was enough to keep thousands of people waiting for hours. Others wrote that even though Jungkook and Jimin were only outside the building for a few minutes, the moment felt like a dream too beautiful to forget. A number of fans even returned to the location the next day, as if to absorb again the incredible energy that had filled the air around the Calvin Klein building. Several armies gathered, distributed small merchandise, and exchanged stories about what they saw and felt. They immortalized the place as if it were part of a small history that they will continue to remember. On global platforms, discussions about the appearance of Jungkook and Jimin have not subsided. Many media outlets have written that the power of the two of them in shaping a big moment without a scenario is something that any celebrity rarely has. It's not just about BTS's influence as a group. Rather, it is about the personal charm of Jungkook and Jimin, who are able to create social phenomena even with just a fleeting appearance. What makes it all the more interesting is that both Jungkook and Jimin still prefer not to talk much about what happened. They let the army's curiosity continue to flourish, like a seed that was deliberately sown and waited for its time to fully bloom. Jungkook only wrote briefly on Weverse, "Nice to see you guys, even for a little while." Jimin wrote with a heartwarming sentence, "You guys made that day so special. Thanks for coming." That simple sentence actually felt much deeper because they knew that such fleeting moments of togetherness had an immeasurable impact on the army. In an instant, these two friends again proved that they don't need a big stage to rock the world. Simply by walking side by side, smiling, and showing genuine warmth, they are already capable of shaking millions of hearts.